Hello, Michael. Thanks for taking part in our 6 simple questions. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Delighted to, thank you. Thank you very much, Simon. So my name is Michael Levy and I'm franchise partner with the UK Advisor and Leadership Management UK. I specialise in providing SMEs with working capital finance solutions, commercial mortgages, and serve the property finance needs of their employees and landlords with mortgages, remortgages, buy-to-lets, equity release, insurances and protections, and matters of and things like that.
Right.
I also work with business owners and senior directors in their leadership development at the moment. I think it's an important time that we're coming into where there's some benefits that I hope will cross both the financial as well as the leadership side. I feel it's a little bit like Greece and Arnica at the moment. If I can just add a little more explanation to that, Simon. The squeaky wheels of working capital finance often require a dollop of grease. And at the UK Advisor, we've an extensive panel of lenders that we work with, including those accredited for CBILS. So we can hold companies' hands during that process. And if the answer is no, or if CBILS isn't appropriate, there's no shortage of options that we can explore in terms of raising working capital. On the other hand, as we both know, leaders and companies have been thrown so many curveballs. It's a bit like one of these tennis practice machines that's on acid. Yes. And so we're feeling somewhat battered and bruised at the moment. And my approach in terms of leadership development is a bit like applying a little bit of arnica. It's a natural cure and it works. What I find is that leaders want to find a way of being able to work on their businesses rather than being consumed by the challenges of their businesses. And so helping people to take a step back and to rebuild and to re-engage in a simple and effective way is those are the two areas, combination of things that I do.
Great. Well, we always like to know a bit more about our members and their backstory, how they became to where they are now, basically. So tell us a little bit more about your history.
I'd be pleased to. Originally, I was made redundant from an organisation called Equitas. It was a magic dustbin set up by Lloyd's of London.
Right.
But up to that point in time, I'd never enjoyed the opportunity for any personal development. And so when I came across leadership management over 1998, in fact, it gave me not only an opportunity to develop myself, but to develop a business. And I've continued to run that and continue to do so. But having come across the UK Advisor, I know the people that set it up. They're accountants, they're business advisors, they're people that have experienced the challenges of getting mortgages up and running. And we provide leading and competent advice across the financial sector. I know that there are years of experience within the UK Advisor team, and that's really good news in terms of helping the customer journey be as smooth as smooth as possible. When I looked at the opportunity around about 18 months ago, I saw this as an excellent way to build relationships with introducers, because there is a turnkey solution for IFAs, conveyancers, solicitors, estate agents, wealth managers, HR teams, and comps and benefits professionals for their clients and employees alike to be able to provide a value-added service and a different way of being able to access good information. Is a little bit like the Victor Khayyam scenario, if you will. I became really excited about the opportunities that this can be, and in some ways I see it as a little bit like a repositioned or a repurposed man or person from the crew, covering a number of important areas within businesses.
Right, and for our younger viewers, Victor Khayyam liked the business so much he bought it, didn't he? So,
there you go.
I remember the adverts. So the business network lunches, we love to ask a little bit of personal information about our members. So we're going to do the same here. So outside work, what are your passions and hobbies? What do you do in your spare time? And we've just frozen.
Lovely. I'm passionate about the music of Pat Metheny, mountain walking, and my family.
Right.
But not necessarily in that order.
Right.
Because I can't do the more mountain walking, you might know I'm a bit of a coffee snob. I think we've shared a good cup of two in the past.
Yes, we have.
And so what I haven't been spending on petrol, I've been spending on coffee beans.
Right.
So I've been perfecting my barista skills. However, the latte art is somewhat slower progress. I'm also doing my son's 20-minute HIIT workouts. So Live Well with UL on YouTube, and I have to say those are really important, not just for my mind, but for my body.
Yeah.
And aside from the music that I mentioned before, I'm enjoying listening to John Zorn's Book of Angels, which is a considerable body of work that encompasses different genres from jazz, avant-garde, classical, with world-class musicians and different forms, different ensembles. So, those are some of the things that keep me occupied, aside from enjoying the company of my wife and 5 grown-up children.
Yes, I was going to say you've got a house full at the moment, haven't you? So
strange and wonderful times.
Yeah, they definitely are. So podcasts. Do you listen to any podcasts?
I'm starting to. I've not been a big consumer of those. I enjoy listening to podcasts that some of my colleagues from LMI put out there from around the world, because it gives a sense as to what perspectives they're sharing at this time. I do find that the conversations and the inspiration from John Maxwell and Tony Robbins are always really insightful and worthwhile. And I've just subscribed to the Property podcast, so that's just extending some of my activities in that way.
Right, brilliant. And you've already mentioned a book, but is there a book you'd like to recommend as well?
Well, a couple, if I may, Simon, because I think for any adult or child, anything written by Michael Morpurgo is worth a read. My personal favourite is Alone on a Wide Sea. I recently read a book by stories with an Indian background, so set in Calcutta or Indians living in Massachusetts. And the simplicity of the story, in fact, is what makes it so wonderful. But I'm also reading a business book entitled I Inherited a Fortune by Paul J. Mayer, which is currently by my bedside. Right.
Great. And the final question we have is, any words of wisdom during, it doesn't have to be about lockdown, but it could be in and out of this. But if you've got anything you'd like to share with us.
Yeah, that's kind of you to ask. The wisdom, I think, that I'd share at this stage is really based on 3 important values that I hold: gratitude, humility, and kindness. There's a wonderful quote about gratitude by William Ward. It says, "Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a gift and not giving it." And I think that really sums up an important theme of this time about being able to express gratitude with sincerity. These are attitudes that I feel are really important to embrace at this time, and help us put a strong face on what can otherwise be some really difficult times. So thank you again for asking me about that.
Yeah, no, thank you, and thank you for taking part in the session. They've been good fun for me, and I've learnt a lot. Got a lot of reading to catch up on, definitely. So, but thank you for taking part, Michael. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. If you've got any good book recommendations, send them over.
Will do. Okay. Bye.